if it is the last thing I do.
Stop denying who you are, Snow White. You may have been a princess, but you will never be a queen.
Of course, you know we're at the Evil Queen right now. Make some noise for Lana Parrilla!
I was standing backstage listening to that music and I got so emotional. Yeah, I didn't realize, like, wow, God, how amazing is our soundtrack, like our theme songs, and for all the characters, and Mark Isham did such an incredible job. Anyways, just touched me.
Well, welcome to Orlando, welcome to MegaCon.
Thank you so much for having me. How's everyone doing?
Well, this is like a little bit of this is a bit of your own second hometown in a way. Orlando, the House of the Mouse, like once upon a time, like you're all part of the Disney family. Does that like ever fail to be kind of this astounding moment that you are part of this legacy, this Disney legacy, and this iconic character? Does that like just feel kind of big to you?
Absolutely, it totally does. I could never foresee in my career, 15 years ago, that I was going to play an iconic character like the Evil Queen. I guess it wasn't one that I ever thought I would play. I love Disney, and I would say my favorite movies are probably Dumbo and The Little Mermaid. And Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs was one I watched as a kid. So yes, I think it's a huge honor, and I've had such a great time portraying her.
Well, and when this show was first announced and coming together in development, it seems like this crazy idea of like, really? Like, is this what you guys are gonna do? It almost seems like it almost wouldn't work, and then of course, it worked astoundingly. As an actor, did you have any hesitations? Like, I don't know, will they be able to pull this off? Is this going to be a cool approach to this story?
I was a huge cynic. Like, I thought there's no way this is going to go past 6 episodes, maybe 8. But I think that was just like a function of, this is my 7th series. So I was like, okay, nothing's gonna last more than 1 season or even a half a season. And then I did we filmed the pilot episode, and then we went in for voiceover work. And I remember looking at the screen, and it had a big color corrected, and all the, the visual effects weren't like it needed a lot of work, and I just thought, oh my God, what have I done? This is like the worst thing I've ever seen. What am I looking at? And I thought the acting was great, but what am I looking at? It was like this green, weird, board, and I didn't really understand what it takes to actually make a show like this. And then I watched the pilot episode completed, and I was blown away by how incredibly done it was. Incredibly done. What are my words? Thank you.
It's Sunday at the con, everybody's like a little bit tired at this point. Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. I am not hungover at all. I was with family all night. I wish I could blame alcohol. I can't. Maybe lack of coffee. But I was really impressed with how well it was done. Thank you. And I thought we really have something special here. And it continued to just be an incredible show.
Well, and your character is nuanced and textured, and it's you could be a villain, but also be a person that we love, like that fans are attached to. And you know, I'm kind of curious, as you do these cons, as you interact with fans, what are some of the reactions that really kind of resonate with you when they say, like, this was the impact that you had on me? Like, what are some of the comments that really resonate?
Oh my gosh, there's so many. Even today, I heard from someone who said they were a suicidal survivor, and there had been 3 attempts, and they started watching Once Upon a Time, and my character resonated with them, and she attributes, you know, her, I guess, living today to the Queen and Regina's story. And I hear that a lot. A lot of people resonate with Regina and Regina's arc throughout the last 7 years. And I get it. Like, it's a story of redemption. She's, you know, she wasn't born evil. She was made that way, and then she really fought for a better life for herself. And I think that's really inspiring. The Huffington Post posted something along the lines of Regina being a life coach, which I thought was really cool. I could never foresee portraying a character that would then become a life coach for people in the world. So that's amazing. And I, you know, I learned a lot of lessons from Regina as well. She is inspiring, so I'm with all of you there.
What lessons have you learned?
Just her fight to keep moving forward, and no matter how much hardship she's endured, she still keeps fighting for her happiness and her personal growth, which I think is very important. So
yeah, that's certainly something all of us can.
Yeah. Yes.
And relearn and relearn and relearn.
Relearn. Yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and throw it to some audience questions. We have some folks up front we're going to start with before I get to the microphone, okay? And our awesome room control is going to... All right, here we go. And you can come up, yeah. No, of course.
Hi there, Lana. My name is Regina, and I wanted to ask you if it would be possible in the future that you might take on a role in a show where you would need to utilize sign language. Do you think that would you accept a role like that?
Yes, actually I would. I unfortunately don't remember much of what I have learned in the past, but I did play a character on a show called Miami Medical. And there was one episode where my character got to sign. But please do not ask me if I remember any of it, because I don't. But I've met some fans this weekend who have been signing, and they actually taught me this. Thank you. They said that my name and sign is... which I think is really cool.
That's pretty badass.
I know.
That's a cool...
like, that's fitting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it, thanks.
Thank you.
Just one more. Can I ask one more?
Sure.
Do you think that it would be possible in the future that you would make an album?
It's so strange. People keep asking me this. I'm like,
The people want it.
what? Okay, I'm going to endeavor to make an album, I guess. I don't know. Don't put a timeline on this, okay, guys? But who knows? Who knows? Maybe. I've been told to start singing.
Right.
By random people in my life. Some of you are in this room. So thank you.
Thank you. Well, you can't just say that you're gonna do it, like, and expect not a timeline. This is now, that's not how the internet
I know,
works.
well, I know, and I'm like,
out.
what about next weekend?
Yeah. You're like, how's that album coming? Is it ready to come out yet?
Listen, I love music. Like, I have a crazy collection of CDs and LPs, and I have a dope-ass sound system. Sorry. I'm from Brooklyn. That's how we say things. And I love music. And I love to sing and sing around the house and stuff, but I feel like it's something like I wasn't born with that, you know, that gift of singing. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe I just haven't exercised it, but it definitely wasn't like the dream for me. But doing the musical on Once Upon a Time really forced me to discover my singing voice. And I really enjoy it. So who knows where this is going to lead. And thank you for your encouragement.
Thank you. Well, you're wearing a Queen shirt. You had a David Bowie inspired bag. And now I'm kind of curious, what's the song that you bust out in? Like, what's like your karaoke song or the ballad that you just can't help but sing out loud, like when it comes on?
Probably Four Non-Blondes, What's Up?
Oh, yeah,
okay. It's a good belting song. Let's see. I don't know, I like to sing along to a lot of things, and lately I've been listening to some new music, and I have like my Italy soundtrack. That was a lot of fun. So I would say Four Non-Blondes probably. Okay. But I love Bowie. Everyone here knows I love Bowie. Don't Stop Me Now, Queen has been like on repeat. Yeah.
Underrated song that's finally getting like
I know.
the attention that it deserves. All right, next question. Hi.
Hi, my name is Tiffany.
Hi.
And I wanted to know how the progress with your elephant, Kwanzaa, is doing.
I haven't checked up on Kwanzaa as of late, but I just got a report in like 2 days ago, emailed to me, so I have to go through it. I have not had a moment because I've been traveling and got here. So, but last time I checked, because I was there last year, she was doing great.
That's good. I love elephants.
Yeah, she's doing great.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you for asking.
Good elephant report. We'll jump over here. Hi. How are you?
Hi. I was wondering, who is your favorite character from Once Upon a Time?
Ooh, favorite character.
The Evil Queen. Self-love.
Who is your favorite character?
Probably Emma.
She's a good character to me.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi, Lana. My name is Drew, and I was wondering, because you had a recipe about rice balls, if you had any recipes that you had from Italy.
Oh, recipes from Italy. Any recipes?
I mean, yeah.
It's probably hard to list all
So
these.
many.
Yeah.
I cooked with a woman named Raffaella for a week, and she was incredible and taught me so many new recipes. And I'm still waiting for them. She said she was going to email all of them, but we cooked about 8 dishes a day. So it's going to take her a minute to get them to me. However, I love to cook, and I'm pretty good. I am. I didn't get to cook a lot while I was on Once because I was super busy on the show. But now that I have some time, I've been cooking quite a bit, and working with Raffaella re-inspired me and also reconfirmed, like, I know what I'm doing in the kitchen. She was like, you've been cooking, haven't you? And I'm like, oh yeah, since I was 12. Yeah.
Thank you.
Are you cooking?
Yeah, me and my sisters do videos, and we put them on YouTube.
Oh, cooking
I'll have
videos.
to check it out.
Cool. Thank you. Was it Drew? Your name's Drew? Thank you, Drew.
I know who those girls are.
Hi.
Yeah, I know you all. Nice to see you.
Howdy, how are you?
Hi, my name's Megan.
Hi.
Hi, I love you. You're like my favorite character on Once Upon a Time.
Thank you.
My question is, was it more fun for you to play the Evil Queen or like your like better self later on?
It was really fun to do all the above. Every single one of those characters. I feel the Evil Queen was one that I really got to sink my teeth into. She became like my skin because I played her for so long. So she has a special place in my heart. But so does Regina, because Regina was on a sort of different path for a while, and I like where she ended up. So I love them all. And you know, I was bummed that I didn't get to play the old hag more, but I learned that it was all about time, because it was about 4.5 hours in hair and makeup, and they just didn't have enough time for me to play the old hag more often, so.
It's always interesting to me when I talk to actors that undergo prosthetics, heavy makeup treatments. I personally, I don't think I could sit for 4 hours without going a little insane. How did you personally pass the time? Was it music? Like,
yeah, I think as an actor you develop these patient skills because you sit around and wait a lot. And you sit around and wait and have someone touch your hair and your face all the time. And so you just eventually get used to waiting. And so as long as I had some good music in my ears and I was breathing and you know, a cup of coffee, I was cool. It didn't really bother me. I think the casting of my head and face really bugged me more than anything. I felt a little claustrophobic. I kind of went into the Zen state, but like towards the last couple minutes, it was like, get this thing off me! Oh my God, it was like, and then whatever that stuff was got in my nose, and it was like,
oh yeah.
And so that part sucked. But everything else was pretty awesome. Transforming into character, I'll sit there and wait for 6 hours.
I'm sure you've been asked before, but did you have a Evil Queen Regina playlist, like music playlist?
Many, and
you should put those up on Spotify. I'm just saying, like.
You know, that's not a bad idea. Okay, yes, I have a young Regina playlist. I have a Bandit Regina playlist. I have an old hag playlist. It's all like gypsy Romanian music, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I feel like we're putting you to work. It's like, put the playlist up.
I gotta go, guys. I got a lot going on. I gotta go write an album.
Yeah.
Start a clothing line. I'll be right back.
Hi, over here. How are you?
Hi.
Hi.
Good, thanks.
You guys just gave me a bunch of like energy, so thank you. Hi.
Hi, my question is, were there any pranks done to you, or have you pranked anyone on set behind the scenes?
I think people were genuinely afraid of me. I'm serious. I think people were genuinely afraid of me on set. But I think Rebecca and I were probably the closest. And we used to pull pranks on one another and like hop in each other's trailers and take things and steal each other's animals.
Wait, you stole animals? Hold on a second. Wait, you stole each other's...
Well, like we would take each other's dogs and stuff out of our trailers and freak
For how long?
out. I mean, not long, but like long enough to freak someone out.
That's traumatic.
Yeah, but we were literally next door to one another. I mean, like, you know. And I think everyone else knew about it before the other anyhow, because we would do funny little Snapchat videos about it. But any pranks, Bobby Carlisle would always try to screw everyone up during the close-ups and the cameras on them, at least with me, in a good way. We were always laughing about it. He was always just trying to make someone laugh, and Colin was great at that too. So. Yeah, I think the girls were pretty serious. The girls were like, this is a serious show. Except for Rebecca and I.
Hello.
Hello, good morning. It's your boy, Aladdin.
Good morning.
Okay, make it quick. With Once Upon a Time being such a plot-heavy, a character-driven show, do you as an actor have any influence on how Regina, the Queen, was developed? Do you have any say on how she grew as a character? Or were you restricted by what the writers wanted for the character?
So the writers were pretty firm about us really, like we didn't interfere a lot with their writing, because that's not our hat, you know, like, I trust my writers, and if there was anything that just didn't feel right, I never really questioned that as being wrong. I would actually look into it further and see if I was resisting something, because I think the writers, they had a pretty good idea of where they wanted these characters to end up. So out of respect for them, I didn't really interfere. If there was like one thing that I just said, I really like the evil panda line. I had a really hard time with that one. So I would call on lines like that and just go, I just don't see Regina saying this. I don't even understand what it means. What's an evil panda? Is there a reference to something I never saw or book? So in that regard, I did share my thoughts, but no, I just made things work.
Well, you did a great job, 10 out of 10.
Just make it work if I didn't feel like...
Yes, Queen, yes!
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, is there a moment when you take on a role like this that, well, specifically this role, where you kind of felt like you took ownership over it and it was really yours, you know, that it became your skin? When did that happen, or was it a gradual process?
It was definitely a gradual process. I can say in the first season, I felt like I still didn't know who she was, and I think she was just taking shape and probably making her way into my blood, veins, DNA, whatever. I felt like by season 2, I started really grasping who she was. I think by season 3, I was fully embodied. Yeah.
Cool.
I know, it takes a minute.
Yeah.
You guys are like, no, you had it in the second episode. Yeah, see, there's my reality and then there's the reality. They're both very different.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
So, other than the stealing of the dogs for you and Bex, what's the funniest thing on set that you two did together?
Stuff we'd probably get fired for today.
Has the statute of limitations
We're
passed?
family, so we can be super gropey. And that's kind of how we are. Yeah.
All right then, yeah.
We're just silly girls like that, so we'd grab each other's like and laugh, but I'm sure the guys got a kick out of it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hello.
Hi, my name's Jamie.
Hi.
I was wondering, with Once Upon a Time, there's so many different characters and worlds that go into this show. What world for you was the most fun filming in?
Oh.
Wonderland. And because I always wanted to visit. And I feel like I actually did. It's like my childlike imagination was just in full force in that episode. I did this whole exercise at home that really created this world for myself, and so when I was there, I really saw it all. The power of imagination, right? So I really enjoyed that. Neverland was hell. It really was. It was really hard on everyone's bodies, because we were on a sound stage, and it was just the smoke and the dirt, and every day you would come home and you would like sneeze out a tree. I mean, it was just like, you know, dirt balls. Not attractive. But yeah, and the Enchanted Forest is always fun too, because we were actually in the forest, so oh gosh, this is tough. I'd say on a green stage, Wonderland, and in real life, the Enchanted Forest.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Hello.
Hello there.
Hi.
Hi there, Lana. My name is Casey. And as a long-term fan of the show, I have a question on the interaction between Regina and the Evil Queen when they finally got to see each other outside of each other.
Right.
Was there a surreal moment when Regina was just like, was I really like that? Like actually portraying the characters like separately?
Yeah. Well, because you guys saw it where I actually saw the other character, but I'm both, so I was really not seeing anything except for the stand-in who's lovely. Yes, and I think it was scripted. So I believe that it had been scripted quite a bit throughout the seasons, that she possessed this darkness and she hated it. There was a lot of self-loathing going on. So it often occurred, which is why she originally decided to split herself.
Right.
And when she looked at herself for the first time on that rooftop, when she injected, you know, herself with that splitting potion, serum, splitting serum, there was a moment of disgust and anger, and I think she was just ready to be done with it. But I think what we end up seeing in season 6 with her and with Regina and the Evil Queen is that they both had to get to this level of self-acceptance, right? And self-love, and to love both sides of yourself, even though I feel like there's more than two in all of us, but you know, that darkness versus light. So I feel that that was ever present in even other seasons, but definitely more so in season 6, and in episode 14 it really kind of came to a head, and that's where they both embraced and accepted one another.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank
Pleasure
you.
to meet you.
Welcome.
Well, when after playing this character for so long, especially a character that sounds like you really use the term skin, you know, you're really like she's in you. How did you sort of pack her up and put her away at the end? What was that process like?
I'm still doing that. Yeah, I didn't even think that I was. I think the Regina Evil Queen really took over me in ways I probably didn't even know. And I'm still kind of like I was looking at my closet, kind of packing for this weekend going, what is that? Like, so Regina. Like, who was that? I guess I was Regina shopping. Like, I would go out and like buy things that I thought she would wear, but it was like unconscious, and then I was wearing them. And so there became like little separation between Lana and who I portrayed for 7 years. So I'm still doing that. However, to really answer your question, I did a ritual for her. It was about maybe a 30 to 45 minute ritual in my backyard where I thanked her and honored her and did like this whole blessing and had all my little symbols and little Regina things that I stole. Auction, wait, what? I gotta get in there before they knock everything off. So I took some of my favorite things. Sorry, guys. And I had all of that laid out and kind of just really thought about the 7 years and what she brought to my life and what she brought to all of your lives and other people, and just thanked her and celebrated her. So that was like my little farewell to the Queen.
It's like a spiritual. It's
yeah,
like
I'm very spiritual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it's interesting because it's something that I think resonates with all of us, that we're fans of things and we dress up and we want to talk to people. These characters feel very much alive, and for the person that's portraying it's on not to get too deep or whatever, but like there's things called tulpas in the Buddhist faith. There's thought forms, these things that we put so much energy and belief into that it essentially exists in the real world. And it sounds like that's sort of how these characters are for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, okay, so I mean, I like going deep. I think everyone knows that.
Let's do it.
But your body doesn't really know the difference if you're like pretending to be under attack, and you start screaming and shaking, and your body actually doesn't understand that it's pretend. So, and your body is so much bigger than your brain, even though people don't give the body credit, but it stores a lot of energy. And so if you don't move it through, and if you don't like let your body know, hey, that's not real, it can actually hold on to that traumatic energy that the evil queen or Regina went through. So it's like, you know, I remember, I think this is okay to say, but when Ginny was pregnant, she had like all these really emotional scenes, and she was like, oh my God, I don't want to like terrify my baby. You know, so it was like your performance has kind of shifted and altered a little bit because you don't want to traumatize the body in that particular case. But if you're not making a human and you're, it's just you have to find other ways to kind of work that energy through your body to let it out and release it. So, yeah, that's something I've been doing is like, okay, Regina was just pent up, really stiff at times and like stoic, and she had this like walk, and sometimes I started to develop like pains in my back and tension in my arms, and I was like, oh my God, what is this? So I have to like move it through and start to become a little more fluid, because she wasn't at times as the evil queen, but she really kept a lot inside, and it just like, you know, swirled inside of her body, and so it became kind of a tight body.
And not like,
Yeah, so to loosen it, it's like I had to constantly stretch and move the neck, and you know, those collars and the corsets, so you have to like move your body and move it big to move that energy. You know,
it's interesting.
Little acting weird things that we do.
No, but I think it's great. I think, Hi.
Hi, Lana. Hi. So you played the evil queen for 7 seasons. Do you think that the role of after the show ended, do you think that Regina impacted your life at all?
Not at all. Come on, really? Yes. Absolutely.
Thank you.
I think, yes, she, for the better. I mean, look at how much she's brought to my life. Oh, it's true. And today, it's been really resonating with me. Thank you. But listening, thank you. Listening to some of you today, and I've met a lot of newbies, like, well, newbies meaning I'm meeting you for the first time, not newbies to the show per se, but I've met a lot of first timers here, and to hear the impact and your stories. I wrote to Steve Perlman this morning, one of my executive producers, and I told him, I said, oh my God, it's just so crazy to learn how deeply once has affected people's lives and how deeply it's touched them. And even though I do these conventions and I hear it often, it really never fails to surprise me every time. It's like, oh my God, this is incredible. And in turn, I feel so honored to be an actor in this position, to portray a part that has literally changed lives. I had no idea that was gonna come out of this performance.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. We are winding down on time, unfortunately, so we only have time for about 2 more questions. Okay. Hi.
Was there ever a time that you wanted or had to go out in public dressed as the evil queen?
I once did by choice, and I visited a children's hospital on Halloween, and I brought a bunch of candied apples. And I walked in their parade, and they came up to me and said, oh my God, you look just like that character on that show. Oh my God, you're the character from the show! Yes, I am. Do you want a candied apple?
Who would accept that?
children.
I mean, I like you, but you have a dark sense of humor.
I know. I like that. Yeah, so that was fun. And then I went to like some party as her. It was weird.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Lana.
Hi.
So regarding the musical episode, if they hadn't gone with the original song route, what Disney songs would you like to be in the musical episode?
Okay.
Which Disney song?
Yeah,
So,
like from the movies.
yeah. I mean, I just love Ursula, Poor Unfortunate Souls. I just really love that song. I love her. So I guess maybe that song. Or, like, I think the Rocky Horror Picture Show. If we're not going Disney, okay. Yeah, Tim Curry song, for sure. And I know that inspired them as well. And that was like my version of it, you know, so. It's fun singing as a character. I feel like there's more freedom there. So maybe if I do put out an album, it'll be under a different name.
I mean, it's happening. We've given you all this homework today. You got a lot to do.
Or create someone,
Yeah.
you know, some cool character. Like, there's Lady Gaga has Lady Gaga. There's so maybe it's
Ziggy
like
Stardust,
Ziggy Stardust, Aladdin Sane. So maybe there's something else.
Yeah. Maybe, yeah. Well, before I let you guys out of here, first off, just all weekend, I'm sure you've noticed our excellent interpreters on stage from Blue Sun interpreting. Give it up for they all. They perform an incredible service. We're really lucky to have them. And I think it really just contributes to the quality overall of the con.
And you, thank you.
Oh,
very
well,
much
thank you. I very much appreciate it.
for hosting.
Thank you. And MegaCon, you guys are great. Thanks so much for being in such a great crowd. And please give it up for Lana, and thank you for your time.
This is One Broke Gamer Girl. I just want to say a big thank you for watching this video. If you liked what you just watched, then go ahead and hit that like button down below. One more thing, since you've already hit the like button down below. You've already hit the like button down below, right? Well then, why not go ahead and go one step further and leave a comment too? Since you've already hit the like button and left a comment, you did both of those already, right? Then why not just take one more tiny little step and hit the subscribe button as well? Just one more thing, since you've already come this far, would you kindly check out the links in the description? That way you can follow me on Twitter, Twitch, and maybe even check out my blog.